Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite bands. And today I'm going to be doing another video about Death Grips, and it's going to be how to get into Death Grips. I'm going to make a series of videos where I talk about how did I get into this particular band or this particular artist, especially those who are rather experimental and inaccessible and weird and not many people know who they are. And I've been wanting to do this video for like half a year now, so I've been waiting for a very long time to do this video. So yeah, because lately I've been, doing Death Grips album reviews, and I've just done the Death Grips Madness bracket, and since I've said so many times that Death Grips is my favorite band of the entire decade, I need to talk about them first, because a lot of the people doesn't know who Death Grips are. A lot of people doesn't grammar, whatever. Yeah, and that's kind of sad, because the music that Death Grips make are actually really special and artistic in my opinion, even though at first I didn't really enjoy it at all. In fact, I thought it's just noisy and loud and that's it. But as time goes by, as I gave their albums repeated listens, wow. I fell in love with the music that Death Grips makes. And so first of all, I'm gonna tell you how should you get into Death Grips. I know a lot of people are gonna say that if you want to go into Death Grips, start off with The Money Store or Ex-Military, which are their first two full-length releases. I disagree, okay? If you don't particularly like loud, noisy, abrasive music or experimental music, I highly recommend you to start off from No Love Deep Web, which is, in my opinion, their most hip-hoppiest and their most pure and accessible album. And the reason being is that I think when it comes to hip-hop, especially hip-hop nowadays in the 2010s and the late 2010s, it's all about bangers. A banger beat, a banger flow, and a banger performance. And Death Grips just provides that on No Love Deep Web. Thus, I think No Love Deep Web is one of my favorite Death Grips album ever, even though pretty much all Death Grips albums are my favorite albums, except for Government Plates and Fashion Week, except for those two. And then after listening to No Love Deep Web for multiple times, maybe you can then listen to The Money Store, or you can listen to, if you are a huge fan of rock, punk rock especially, go listen to some Jenny Death or Bottomless Pit. And if you are a fan of loud, abrasive, experimental music, definitely check out The Money Store. The Money Store is definitely gonna hype you up. And yeah. Never start off with the first half of The Powers That Be, because that is the hardest Death Grips album to get into, in my opinion. So yes, start off from No Love Deep Web. So yeah, there are 5 points that I'm trying to make in this video. Number 1, MC Ride's versatile flows. You have to appreciate how versatile and how fun and creative MC Ride's flows are, especially on their later albums like on Bottomless Pit and on Year of the Snitch. Every track has a different hip-hop flow. Can I even say hip-hop? It's more like shout, screaming, and these flows, they are so well performed, and the lyrics together with the flow, they just flow so well together. Streaky on the outside, stand by de la Hoda franchise. Southside do me cause it sounds right, booty on the outside, out my yeah. Artificial death in the west, east, pyramids on deck, shine, inanimate sensation. I'm all up in my glory hole, so no. I'm on that V, on that yellow pill shit, fuck the dealers. fuck, kill, steal, shit. Get, got, blood rush to my head, lit hot, lot poppin', after fucking plot, not clockin', wristlet, watchman, tapat. Get so fucking dark in here, come, fuck upon here, ah! There are literally so many creative, unique, innovative flows performed by MC Ride that are all so very fun, entertaining, and catchy, and I'm just shocked, because usually a rapper sticks with one flow most of the time, or maybe 2 or 3, but MC Ride just has a different flow on every single track, and every flow is just so fun, so cohesive. Kind of weird at first, but it's just so creative and very catchy and eargasmic, and I really like that. And then we have the lyrics. At first, on the earlier albums on Death Grips discography, the lyrics, they are more, I guess, cohesive. They make a little more sense. But you know, even though they make a little more sense, doesn't mean they make sense, because I feel like what the band is ultimately trying to do is to convey a message through the musicality of the track. So even if you don't read the lyrics, even if you just listen to the music and the instrumentals itself, you'll still kind of get where the song is going. And then we have the lyrics. You know, because they focus on the music, the instrumentals way more, so the lyrics tend to get whacker and crazier. And as time goes by, the lyrics get weirder and weirder and weirder, and it's fantastic. And how they write the lyrics are really, really creative and actually artistic, in my opinion, because every syllable just flows so smoothly. On paper, the lyrics, they feel really sophisticated. They feel like a bunch of random words scribbled together, but if you actually sing them out, they flow so well together. Hustle bones coming out my mouth, half littered, cool as half Lazarus. Cool as one blanket. Statement Denver Air Terminal patient. Rubberized. Skin rubberized. For your entertainment. Got 2 cents, save it. And then there is my second point. The very abrasive and fun drum beats by Zach Hill. Zach Hill is an incredibly talented drummer. Really, really underrated in my opinion. And once again, similar to MC Ride's flow, the drum beats are very, very versatile most of the times. And especially, I think it's really impressive that on different tracks, the texture of the drum beats feel a little different. On tracks that are more lighthearted and bouncy, like or Streaky, the drums tend to be punchier and bouncier, while on tracks like Bubbles Buried in This Jungle, the drums are way more rough and pounding and raw. And then on I've Seen Footage is very thumpy. It's very flompy, if that's a word. And you need to listen to the 23-minute long EP by Death Grips, Steroids, where Zach Hill just goes insane drumming, and the drums on that EP are fantastic. The very tense and tickly drum beats on All My Life, and then on the second track we have these very stiff drum beats on Squeaky, or however you call it. And then on the next track, Baldhead Girl, the drum beat becomes way more snappy and maniacal, and it's just awesome. And then I have the third point. The third point being how creative and catchy the sampling are. Andy Moran had done a great deal for the band, and the samples on their albums are just ingenious, especially on their earlier albums, like on Ex-Military and The Money Store. On Ex-Military, they sampled the Beach Boys, Pink Floyd, David Bowie, Black Flag of all people, and then on The Money Store they even sampled Vancouver Skytrains, some tennis players' grunt, and it's kind of insane. And on later albums, like on Year of the Snitch, they sampled themselves, and on the first half of the Powers That Be, every single track features Björk samples, and they somehow manipulate and distort and compress Björk's vocals into these very weird, choppy, schizophrenic sounds, and they are both weird and catchy. The sampling on every single track on every Death Grips album are just so refreshing and weird, and they come in different shapes and sizes and textures and colors. It's very, very awesome. And that ultimately goes to my fourth point, is that they are not about the linear movement, as they have stated in a Pitchfork interview a very, very long time ago. They are not about the linear movement. Every single album they put out sounds different. Every single album. And I'm not going to go through every album that they have put out, but I'm just saying that, stylistically speaking, every album just feels so different, from the really weird, choppy, experimental government plates to the very plain and dizzying Fashion Week, from the very abrasive and raw and in-your-face and aggressive The Money Store, to this very weird and freaky and mutinous Year of the Snitch. Every Death Grips album gives off a different feeling, gives off a different vibe, and I honestly have no idea what their next album is gonna sound like, because again, they're not about the linear movement, so I have no idea where are they gonna go next. I have no idea. And yeah, that just proves how creative they are. And the fact that they are putting out albums and EPs and singles so constantly throughout the decade, and yet every album sounds so different and they're so good. I'm just impressed. Very, very impressed. And then my final point that I'm trying to make in the video is that their music is cathartic. If you are a fan of heavy metal, death metal, thrash metal, progressive metal, whatever metal, you will probably enjoy Death Grips for how cathartic it is, because there are a bulk of Death Grips tracks that are so damn angry and violent, especially tracks on Jenny Death. I think the tracks on Jenny Death are both very, very angry, but also very, very raw and organic and gross. Thus, Jenny Death is my personal favorite Death Grips album, if you consider it an album. But yeah, if you are the kind of person who enjoys soft, sugar-coated, poppy music, you may not be a fan of Death Grips. So if you enjoy that kind of music, I suggest you to start off with No Love Deep Web. But you know, you just need to learn how to enjoy catharsis, to be honest, because listening to angry music is like watching a very, very violent Quentin Tarantino movie. It's so violent, it's so brutal, yet so fun, because that's exactly what you want to see. Destruction, death, explosion, whatever the fuck it is, because it's just so satisfying, especially on tracks like Beyond Alive or You Might Think He Loves You for Your Money. These tracks are absolutely insane and giving back people good ideas. That track is straight up metal. I have to say that it's straight up metal, and they're just so angry, and because of the very the build-up of tension, they are actually very empowering and whack. And if you are in a bad mood, if you have gone through a bad day, if someone had wronged you, rubbed you the wrong way, and you just want to express that anger and that hatred, and you know, Death Grips music just helps you to express that. And it's not a bad thing to feel these emotions at all, because we are humans. We have anger, we have hatred, and listening to noisy, weird, whack, insane, angry music just helps us express these feelings in the least harmful way possible, but yet the most satisfying way possible. So, Death Grips. Death Grips, they are a hell of a special band. And I just wish that there are more people in this world who would explore more types of music, more bands, more artists, more albums, more songs, and hopefully they enjoy Death Grips. Hopefully after this video you enjoy Death Grips. They are definitely one of a kind band. So, do you like Death Grips? What is your favorite Death Grips song? Comment below. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.